Hello! Welcome to Two Guys Tech. I'm John, this is Brandon, and this is Rich. We're bad at math. It's actually Three Guys Tech.
It is.
Wow, we are bad at math.
No, you can do that, and then we'll get people in the Discord who are like, so it is Three Guys Tech? Because there's three of you?
And then the old Rich are like,
the entire time I've been doing these videos, no one's done that.
Oh,
I'm sure it will come.
Yeah, I know Graffiti in our Discord was...
No,
He's keen.
that guy.
He's keen to tell us that it's Three Guys Tech.
Yeah,
He's not wrong.
Yeah, that's fair.
But he's out of line. But he's not wrong. To steal something from the Winter Soldier. Super Soldier, Winter Soldier.
The soldiers.
I didn't really like that show. It was okay.
No.
Bucky and the Super Soldier guys.
Bucky and the Super Soldier.
Did you watch any of that? Any of the Marvel superhero
I have
stuff?
not seen a single Marvel movie.
No, it's not a movie. It's the Disney. The Disney.
No, I haven't seen that.
They did the Loki one recently, which was actually okay.
Loki one I heard was good.
I liked it because Loki was an alligator.
That's fair.
I mean, I just liked that.
You just like alligators.
Although Loki did fall in love with himself, and there was a moment where you're pretty sure they were gonna do it. Well, we got off to a bad start here, didn't we?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
luckily
stop.
Let's just start over. Hey, welcome to Two Guys Tech. I'm John. This is Brandon.
The bot gave up on us.
The
one bot that checks us. Yeah, he left.
Yeah. Loki was the best. I agree. It was far better. It was far better. But he did want to have sex with himself.
And now onto the tech news.
You're not selling the show at all. I'm like, okay, well,
I mean,
was good.
it was a female version of himself, but it was himself. Anyway, okay, so we'll move on. Moving on. My apologies. Noel, thank you for joining us. I'm sorry. John, continue.
I was just saying, hey, how you guys doing?
How's your week been going?
Good. What are you watching?
Yeah, now I don't want to know that question.
I'm not actually. I haven't been watching anything really, TV wise. Oh, are you guys out there watching anything good? Because I've been waiting for the last Rick and Morty, which comes on the 5th.
Oh, nice.
Been waiting for that.
I've been watching that, but I haven't watched it.
And then we can wait another 2 years for the next season.
Yeah, that's true.
Been going through and rewatching Family Guy, but that's aside.
All right, so I was joking saying what you're watching because you're talking about Loki, but okay, how about
it's
this?
Friday. We could talk
more
about
tech related. What are you playing right now?
Believe it or not, actually, you let Brandon go first. Go over. What are you playing, Brandon?
What am I playing? I'm playing Destiny. Of
Oh,
course.
weird.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Such a shock to
Weird.
everyone here. And then Risk of Rain is always a good backup.
That's what I'm
got
playing.
some Risk of Rain experience.
Finally beat the game.
Yeah.
Wait, you can beat it?
You can beat it.
Oh.
I mean, you just go back and play it again.
I thought it was like indefinite levels.
It's like
you
50,
can
50.
you can choose that option when you go through, but I beat it.
Okay.
I soloed the boss. I had 3 of the people on my team. I soloed
What character?
The engineer.
All right, favorite perk?
I don't know perks well enough. I mean, like we're talking
describe
about
the shape.
Oh, the shape.
Yeah.
The shape was.
Is it the syringe? You just need that good hit.
I like the syringe. I like the razor blade. The razor blade things. But I'm talking about things here people don't understand.
Yeah.
The razor blade things that shoot out the 3 razor blades. I'm a big fan of Rend.
Okay.
In any game you're playing, any game whatsoever, where you're trying to be a good damage dealer, making things bleed is great. Always make them
tri-tip daggers. Yeah, they're really good in there.
Yeah. So I just use the pole with the point on the end. That's the the bleed option. Anyway, stack that, hit him, whatever, moving on.
Yeah. But that's I mean, have you played Risk of Rain before?
Yeah, with you.
What it is? Okay, yeah. I was like, so you're aware, but for those of you who are watching who aren't aware, the game is a roguelite where everything infinitely stacks. So if you get one add-on that increases your damage per second, you can do that up to, I think, infinity as far as I know, but I know 99, which will essentially be doing infinite damage to your opponent. So
99.
Really fun game. You all should check it out if you get a chance.
Yes.
I actually got that for free from PAX.
Wow.
Did you really?
They gave me a gold coin with the code for the game on it.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that's how I got my copy of Risk of Rain.
Where's the gold coin at now?
It's lost somewhere in my house.
In the trash?
Probably in the trash.
Speaking of PAX, this is PAX 2021 weekend.
Last show we were like, hey, we're going to PAX.
Well, not last show. It was a couple shows from before, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're clearly not there.
Or we're in a motel room with a green screen.
Yeah, there's no green screen, and Brandon is here in person.
This is it.
Yeah, welcome to PAX.
We just didn't go, unfortunately, because it just didn't end up being something that was going to be worthwhile. And looking at some of the stuff on Instagram,
just everyone just pulled out and decided to be safe and sorry.
Yeah. I think if you're really, 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 which I love indie games, but that seems to be the only thing there. But as a tech channel, we can't really go in and have interviews with indie games. Right. And we had 2 weeks ago, we had 3 different companies back out of interviews because they just weren't even going to be there.
Yep.
So
pulled out and said they weren't going to come, and it just kind of killed it, unfortunately. Say la vie, but we do hope that everyone who goes has a blast, and I want to see pictures and fun stuff. So
hey, if you're into indie games, I bet you could have some really good one-on-one talks with.
Oh, absolutely.
With some of those vendors. I mean, we've had some great talks. And one of the guys that I was talking to a couple of years ago, he was one of the original developers on Donkey Kong 64.
Wow.
And he's working in that pixel art game that looked like the X-Files. I can't remember the name of it, but just random people you talk to. Imagine now, like, there's no one at PAX, and you have these people with an amazing history, but yeah.
True that. I because Brandon's on the show, I gotta ask Brandon, have you done anything through Home Lab?
I have. I've actually been really playing with Docker recently.
Oh boy, listen to this guy. He's the Docker champ now. Okay,
what
have you been doing?
So I'm trying to set up a Docker swarm and what Portainer calls a stack.
Yeah.
And have it manage. Haven't had a lot of success getting it up yet, standing on its own. But that's what I've been trying to play with. I joined the Portainer Discord and going to try to get some help from them later on. But I mean, it seems pretty straightforward on installing a swarm. It's just getting that final management layer, which is my problem I'm having right now. But I deployed a single-use one in my DMZ, so I can run my Minecraft server, my Malheim server, and a few other Discord bots and stuff like that off of them. Which if you guys haven't seen, there's a new bot called Red, which you should really check out.
For Discord?
It's a self-hosted Discord bot. It's really cool. So
does
might be something.
Sell your information and.
I mean, it's self-hosted, so I would be selling my own information, I guess.
Just siphon off the members of your Discord channel's information.
But I've been trying to set that up, and the one of my DMZ is just a self-contained instance, so it's just a single server. It's worked really well, and I really like it. So trying to get the full HA enterprise version going.
Why don't you just do a K8 stack instead and go that
also
route?
Works.
Yeah.
I mean, I just chose Docker and Portainer because I like the way they were set up.
I mean, it's all Docker.
Docker works on K8, and there's
because all the Kubernetes stuff is essentially managing containers, whether it's Docker containers or some other type of containerization, right? But I built a for home for personal use my first Portainer or Docker stack, so I could do my downloading of things legally.
You're incredibly legal to download things.
And doing so was it's dependent, so the downloading system can't start unless the VPN's online, and that's the stack. And I thought it was fascinating. You could basically say, if this is not running, then this can't run, right?
Yeah.
You can build these conditional statements. This is pretty cool.
It's Suburban Barbecue.
Hey, look who it is!
Hey, yo!
It's good to have you, Suburban Barbecue. So anyway, that's cool. Where are you hosting this? On the new stuff that you got, or is this
all the new stuff that I got? I'm slowly building up the stack on my old R720 to try to make it.
Okay.
It's got lots of cores, it's got lots of RAM, so
it's just
gonna throw everything on that one machine right now.
Are you running this in a VM?
Oh yeah. So I've got 3 Linux host VMs that are just running around. All they do is Kubernetes. So keep it as simple as possible.
Cool.
Maybe get some some vApps going. Some rules to make it more redundant once I get more host.
And then you're gonna get in there and get your VMware containerization going as well.
Yeah. The other thing I looked at things like Tanzu, and they looked so much harder to configure. And I just was like, I think this is really powerful. It's awesome to do it on the hardware. That's like the most powerful way to do it. But we got
Hugh, guys. Oh, look at this. Thank you guys for joining and listening to us talk about nerd stuff. The thing I don't like about Tanzu and the approach that they're taking is that in essence what they're doing is, because VMware and ESXi is a hypervisor, excuse me, I couldn't figure out the word there for a second, as a hypervisor is so lightweight, you can't run your virtualized workloads.
Yeah, it doesn't have enough heft
So you're just running a virtual machine anyway that's doing all of it, and it's just being controlled and managed inside
just a proprietary virtual machine, which is just...
And why do that? Why do that? And it costs lots of money. It costs lots and lots and lots of money, and that's not fun. I don't want lots of money. I want it to be free. I mean, it's free. So
you're going to try XCPNG then?
No. VMware is still, in my opinion... Look at John. He's just like, I don't want to do this. VMware is, in my opinion, still the best, hands down, hypervisor or virtualization for operating systems. Why are you staring directly into the camera? It's a fact.
Okay.
Because right now it's like, is there a soapbox under there?
I'm sitting on my soapbox. I know and I respect everybody who wants to use XCPNG.
Then I challenge you to make video. You need to make a video comparing VMware
Please don't,
to
because
XCPNG.
I'll have to edit it, and I don't want to do that.
It just means I've got to edit the video too.
Yeah, you can give him this one. He's got other stuff to do. Make it his problem.
Yeah.
You know,
I challenge you to do that and to do Proxmox, because that's what Twin talks about. That's
what
Graffiti
true.
talks about.
Yeah.
You need to compare these things and not just compare them in the virtual environment. Actually have a hardware host and talk about it and go into it, because you sit on your Southbox and you wave your flags all day long saying that VMware is the fucking best. Prove it.
Brandon.
This is prove it to them. Don't prove it to me.
Brandon has now said the F-bomb 2 shows in a row.
Brandon, I just asked you a question. What is the best hypervisor in your opinion?
Whatever my job does. my job uses VMware, so I use VMware.
Okay.
Because I need to practice.
Listen to this. You get Brandon money and he will say anything you.
But if I was doing it free, XCPNG is a compelling option, and I think you should check them out.
Okay, I agree with that.
So
I agree. I should. Look. Anyway, let's move on, shall we?
But were you going to start us off? I think you had some interesting photos I want to take a look at on what the what is this emoji
we have
thing?
one prep thing on this whole show. It's one picture. I gave them no explanation. Yeah. So I think Rich should go first just to try these.
Okay, I'm going to go first, and Brandon can feed into this.
Okay.
I've been running Windows 11 now ever since the official beta was released, and it's been. I mean, I genuinely mean this. It has been phenomenal, and I like it. I like it a lot more. I like the changes. It's not just, even though it's mostly just a GUI reskinning of Windows 10. Don't get me wrong. I see what's there versus what's. It's not a reinvention of something.
It's those round corners.
I love the round corners. I love the little genie effect. I love everything that they stole from Mac OS. How about that? Okay, I love it all. Assault8. Hey, thanks for joining us. Marvel Tech View. There we go. That's a good idea, Hugh. I love all those things because I think they're great, and I like the sounds. They brought sounds back. When you start up the computer, it makes a little noise. I took an update yesterday, and it just ruined it all. Now, it's a beta. Yeah. It's a beta. So I'm treading into territory where I have to accept that if Microsoft pushes a bad patch, it's my fault, my problem.
That's tough, yeah.
I'm going to tell you about my story.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
It's not a big deal.
I'm sorry.
I gave you the option,
I know.
and you gave it away.
Installed because it automatically takes its updates, right? It's just part of Windows Update. I got the update in. I rebooted the computer, and I had no start menu.
Okay.
And
what do you need that for?
I couldn't open applications. I could Control-Shift-Escape and bring open Task Manager and open up like.
You're a network administrator. What you need to go?
I need a command line. Y'all got some of that command line. At any rate, so I got that. How Windows stole everything from Apple. Yeah,
maybe it's a little bit.
I mean, Apple is good at making pretty things, and Windows is good at playing all my video games. So if we could
I was gonna say, what do you even need a start bar for if you just have a COD icon right on your desktop?
I didn't even have icons, John. It was all the UI had decided it was
because all these icons are so pretty. I'm just gonna put them all on the desktop. I've seen your computer.
I hide the desktop
don't
whenever
even have any kind of organization whatsoever. Folders.
Listen to these guys chewing my ass about this. Anyway, back to this. So I went and said, okay, obviously I got a bad update because I just had rebooted after being told I need to update. I rolled back.
Okay.
Didn't fix it.
Yeah.
Rollback didn't fix it. So I went, okay, fine. I'm gonna roll back to a few versions back or a few patches back. Why not? Let's go back to the last update that I did. Boop 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 boop. Didn't fix it. I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to do a reset of my PC, and I'm just going to keep my files and reset Windows 11. 45 minutes later, boot up.
Error.
Welcome. Please wait while we build your thing. No taskbar.
It's a unified...
Here's the part where he finds out his monitor had a weird resolution. It's below the bezel.
I just know.
So that was your story of hardship.
That was my story of hardship.
Do you want to know why that story happened?
I want you to tell everyone else.
So, someone at Windows, or at not Windows.
Someone at the Windows organization.
In the Windows division, pushed a dev image to production without hitting QA.
So kind of skipped a step.
Kind of jumped in the middle. Any of you who have worked in a engineering environment,
software
understand
engineering environment,
there are usually 3 development stages: your dev, your QA, which is your quality assurance, and your production, which is your active. Well, the QA step is a very long and boring step. Why do that when you can just push to production and let the users beta test it immediately?
I mean, I am in the beta group. I was beta testing. So, I know lots of companies that don't have that process. They go straight from development into production, and then they spend all their time chasing down the bugs because their customers are the QA, right?
Yeah. So it happened, and it seems to be almost exactly at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So like, there's some script where they just upload stuff all day, and then at 5 p.m. it compresses the image and sends it. So someone did that, and then about 30 minutes later, a magic patch showed up again in the Windows Insider build. You can download it again and it fixes it all.
I should. Well, I didn't do that.
You were way past that. You were IT troubleshooting.
Rich was at like a 5 minute or 5 o'clock and 30 seconds.
And apparently it was only a registry key, one single registry key, which was the Iris service key, and changing that key would have fixed your entire issue. I don't know what Iris service does. Sounds like a Windows Hello thing, but that was my thing. One registry key made you reset your entire computer.
All I'm saying is that it hurts me deeply inside that knowing that all I had to do was delete a reg key and my problems would have gone away.
Let's be honest, your computer could probably use some bleach every once in a while. So.
This was a brand new computer.
It's relatively. I mean, he built it like what?
Oh God, he should.
When you built that?
This was built. It was like, finally after cobbling all the parts together. So
someone had a really fun day at Microsoft.
And they could just say, oh, well, it's the Windows 11 beta.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you can totally do that, but someone had to go back in on Friday at 5:30 and push something that worked.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I'm just looking through the chat to see. Abdullah wants to know Ronaldo or Messi. Are you a football fan?
I like Messi, but he moved to PSG, and I'm not sure I like PSG. Maybe that answers your question.
Maybe it does. And Abdullah, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
But so yeah, going back, it's a really easy fix. But it made yesterday interesting for a lot of people. Speaking of Windows 11, did you see that while you can reinstall Windows 11 on old hardware, you're not guaranteed updates?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but why do both? Why make people who have an old processor, as the 7700K is, have that, now you can't get security updates, which I feel like, we all have to just bully Microsoft into giving support again.
Well, that's how they got to this point. If you think about it, they said it was only going to be available for hardware that had TPM 2.0, right?
Yeah.
You weren't going to be able to install anything else. And people are like, no, my computer's fine. They're like, oh, okay, well, we're not going to allow you to do it via a natural Windows 10 to Windows 11 upgrade through the upgrade process. Go ahead and do whatever you want. Here's the ISO. Have a fun time. So I imagine there'll be rage and there'll be pitchforks and there'll be people running through the streets all the way up to Redmond to try to burn the place down. And they'll be like, oh, okay, all right, no, that's cool. We'll give you some patches.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just going to say, I mean, for how readily available hardware is, I mean, I think people are being a bit unreasonable. Because you can get anything right now.
Look at Suburban Barbecue. So Suburban Barbecue has a first-gen Ryzen CPU, which is only 3 or 4 years old, and yet it's not supported.
Yeah, I mean, 11. You can get a 5950X now for $200. So.
Okay, I understand that, but the Linux...
I'm sure Amazon's got a few.
Ubuntu supports, 10-year-old processors. Microsoft, the company that is almost worth, are they $1 trillion yet? Can't do it when a bunch of free coders on their own time can do it. I just don't believe that's possible. I think that they just don't want to do it because they either have some thought that they are being secure, which we can, play devil's advocate or not, whether that's actually true.
Well,
or they just don't want to support it because, gotta get that cash.
Microsoft doesn't care about selling Windows as an OS for computers because they're making their money off of Azure and the cloud services and Microsoft 365. They've evolved as a company, but they do have a responsibility to the Dells and the HPs and the compacts.
Compacts.
Hey,
yeah,
compact
man.
to the Presarios and the life books and gateways. Thank you, John. Thank you.
No problem.
But they do have a responsibility to those companies to make them have a reason to sell more crap to people, right? Because Suburban Barbecue might be on a first gen and it might be fully capable of running that, but Michael Dell needs another yacht for his yacht while he's on that yacht.
Does he though?
Yeah, no, he doesn't. I mean, but the point being is that they have a responsibility to all the people who make hardware that if they want that sort of stuff, that Microsoft needs to be able to give people a justification. It's the same reason why people got off, I say this every time, why people had to go from Windows 7 to Windows 10 because they weren't going to support NVMe.
I mean,
and they could have.
I understand.
No reason they couldn't have.
Again, it's a good thing hardware is readily available.
Yeah, if we didn't have shortages.
He says in the middle of a chip shortage.
Well, he's being facetious, but yeah.
Yeah.
I can't tell.
Yeah, this is coming from the guy that was building a PC over a 6-month period.
Scraped together a PC that got beaten by a MacBook Air.
And he was running on he was running on a 5700G. He got himself one of the APUs. Really nice. Hugh, what do you think about that CPU? You said it's great, but have you played any games on it? Does it? I mean,
can it run Crysis? It's basically
it can run. Anything can run Crysis. I think my phone can run the original Crysis, maybe not the remake.
Doom runs on anything.
Doom runs on anything.
Well, it's because it's well designed.
Yeah. Wow. So. What is software optimization when you have infinite amounts of RAM?
That's true.
Well, you have a cool name and a crappy engine. You can make any meme you want. So.
Bethesda. What? Who said that?
Yeah. And like MW says, they wanted to sell it as a service at one point, right?
I mean, they are doing it now, right? $30 a month to get a magical Azure Windows VM.
Yeah, but that's to have you're paying for hardware. You're paying for a slice of cloud hardware for a period of time.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised that they haven't gone to an as a service model for the computers.
Like you have to pay $10 every month for your OS.
Yeah, well,
would you do that? Like,
no, absolutely not.
Yeah,
that would be the actually.
I'd be like, oh, hey Ubuntu, how's it going?
Right. That would be the thing that would push a lot of people into alternative OSs, and they can't as long as Apple gives it away. The instant Apple decides that they're going to start charging for OSs again, then maybe they can.
They won't.
But because Apple's making so much money off of their hardware that why would they bother? Why would they bother?
That's always been their attitude too. They're selling hardware.
Well, they still sell stupid expensive software. I shouldn't say that actually, because you can get my Final Cut Pro is only $200, and I have it in perpetuity, and they give me free updates. We have to pay. We have to pay Adobe like $30 a month
for the last 5 years.
And for the last 5 years.
And John's on the stable branch of Adobe, but I'm not sure stable is the word Adobe should be using to classify their software in general.
It only crashed once today, okay? And it was while it was saving, but you can't judge off of that. I mean,
what? That's like the minimum of software.
No, you're like, hey, I'm being a bit choppy. I should save it, and it freezes. That's a feature. That's like I should take a break. Look, it's like your Apple Watch telling you need to stand.
Your car, like modern cars, have little things that pop up and say,
gas.
Hey,
and you keep going.
Well, no,
until you run out of gas.
Okay, maybe you do that. I don't do that.
Stupid Adobe Premiere.
But my car and my wife's car will pop up and say, time for a break if I'm doing a long drive. It'd be like, hey, pull over.
Well, no.
Yeah, they'll do that.
Literally.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Isn't that what the gas tank is for? Like... Oh, need to go to a gas station. Time for some caffeine and snacks.
Every car is not your Jeep. That's just like, screw you.
Is your guys' car like designed by Exxon? It's like, hey, you passed a couple gas stations there, buddy. I think you could use some jerky and some Mountain Dew.
They'd advertise that to you. Be like, ding. Did you know Slim Jims are at the next gas station?
No, dude, like... My Jeep is like the gas station's its natural habitat, so I can just watch the gauge go down.
Don't you have a sticker that says "burning dinosaurs" or something like that on the back of it?
No, totally wouldn't do that.
I mean, because you're literally, I mean, it's a vehicle meant to consume.
The sticker says "fueled by recycled dinosaurs."
Really, NeoRAM was incompatible. Interesting. So I was just reading the comments there. Apparently, the NeoRAM, which I believe was designed for Ryzen, but maybe it was designed for Ryzen 2 and not Ryzen 1. So, but that's not too bad. That sounds good though.
Bummer.
Yeah. Apple's greed. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, I mean,
what company isn't? Come on.
But Hugh, I've never had issues. I haven't tried a G APU, right? So I can't say, but like Suburban Barbecue said, my Trident Z stuff that have been using has been great. It might rattle like a baby rattle. All the Trident Z memory,
I'm glad I got myself some Katana RAM.
When you shake the Trident Z RAM, it goes.
Why are you shaking your RAM?
That was I opened it up, and that's just a thing because you open up the Antec RAM, and it weighs a ton. And then we had some Trident next to it.
You're like,
and I was like, wait a minute,
it's like car keys, right? It's like,
yeah, that's what it sounds
like. Hey, I got my Trident Z RAM.
They just didn't use quite enough glue on that, or the tolerances are a little. It's fine.
Yeah.
So,
hey, it works. It's fine. It's fine. It's not bad.
That's
but
fair.
yeah, Hugh liked the Neo on his X570.
That's fair.
It could be the chipset actually here that you're having the issues with, but.
Who shakes that? Yeah, I'm like, come on. What?
If I had Trident Z RAM...
I have some issues,
it's
okay?
It's not a margarita shaker.
Do we have Trident Z RAM? John, over there in that box behind you.
No.
I'm just saying... lots of empty boxes.
Oh, look at you. Thank you, MW.
Thank you, MW.
Appreciate it.
Get good.
Is it in there?
I got Katana boxes.
But is it in there?
This is a joke that Brandon always says. We have a whole bunch of boxes that have nothing in them.
Yeah, they're always empty, and I don't know why you keep
Well, I'm expecting you guys to come help me clean this out. It doesn't matter.
How many times have you and I cleaned the studio?
Like 5.
We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
We don't do it anymore.
But whatever. Speaking of AMD, you had something about AMD?
Yeah, this is kind of... We were joking about the non-news today, about how every article's like, yeah, no shit. Because everything was just like completely obvious state of things. And there's actually one today that was talking about how AMD is slowly taking a crash on Steam for not being quite as popular. And my instant thought in my head is like, yeah, duh, because nothing's available.
Yeah. AMD or Intel?
Intel's taking an increase on Steam. AMD's taking a crash.
Oh, yeah, because... Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm now caught up to what you're talking about.
Yeah. So they're basically saying AMD is slowly declining by a whole 1.88%. Ooh.
Stop the
Alert
presses.
the media.
1.88%.
Again, slow news week. But, I was searching on Amazon after I saw this of, like, just to prove my... what would you call it?
Your confirmation bias.
Thank you, sir. That's exactly what I was looking for. And you know what? I was wrong. You can get almost everything on Amazon now, except for the 5950X and a 3090. But almost everything else, Intel is available, AMD is available. So,
I think they made a point here where in 2020 and 2021, it does not matter if you're the fastest CPU or you have the most cores.
It's what you get your hands on.
Can people get a physical CPU package in their hands?
Yeah, absolutely. And Intel's stuff is actually becoming readily available. So
it's
when nobody wants your hardware,
it's super hot.
Easy to obtain.
No, seriously.
It's cruising around 200 watt TDP, but it's there, and it works. It runs the latest games.
Yeah. So. I mean, 2020 and now even the hardware shortage up till the beginning of this year taught me patience. I went through the entire. Hold up. Let me tell you.
Were you guys part of the thing where we watched him gamble for 3090s? Was that? Were you?
Yes.
I was there for that.
Let me.
No, I could hear us screaming from my house though.
Let me. All I want to say is that I feel like I went through a 12-step program of like becoming addicted.
It wasn't enough steps.
Wasn't enough steps. What are the steps? Is one of them begging and borrowing and
that's
I think we're in the denial stage right now.
Yeah,
I might still be in that stage. I may still be. Maybe I didn't get through the program, John. Fine. Anyway, point being is, we had to wait to build your machine for like 6 months.
It was October to what, 2 months ago, 3 months ago now.
That was like
we got around December.
Because it was announced, and we're gonna build a new editing rig.
Yeah.
And they announced it in October.
No, not the CPU.
Yeah,
like
the 5950X. They announced at the AMD thing, the jigger in like October. Kerjigger, McJigger. It's not like a McDonald's thing.
It was Computex, right?
Okay.
No, they hadn't. They did one of the big announcements.
Because of COVID.
Oh, right, because they had the whole like announcement, and Lisa Sue comes on in her like dark blacklit stage and is like, "Hello."
At least it's not as awkward as like the Apple one, where like there's two people clapping in the background.
You don't like not Tim Cook, but who's the other guy who just like stared
spatula
at
guy?
who like stared. No, that's
Nvidia.
Jensen. But this is Apple, the guy who just like opened the laptop and like looked at it and was just like, yes, new Apple, and then closed it and walked away. And I was like, okay, Apple. But I mean, when you have as infinite Kool-Aid, you can do whatever you want, right?
Must be nice. I want to drink the Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Drink the Apple Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Just to believe in something.
Well,
John, do you need a hug after the show?
No, I want that Kool-Aid.
I want that sweet apple Kool-Aid.
Yeah. So anyhow, another thing we'll go into my picture finally.
Okay.
Is there is a new app called Byte, and it is available right now, and it's basically like TikTok for games that the user base can create. So remember those little Flash websites?
Yeah.
Where there was some...
You guys remember Newgrounds? I remember Newgrounds.
Exactly. And there was actually some gems in there.
There were.
But
it was mostly full of trash.
Right. So imagine being forced to go through that website by going through every single game before you found that gem. So the first one I found... Okay, so I heard about this through Gizmodo. Okay, that's where this picture's from. I had to laugh that they had to post a picture of the battery at 69%. But they... this game, I was like, oh, okay, clickbaity thing, because the one button says, shoot civilian. And I was like, I wonder how many games they went through before they got that screenshot. So I installed this game.
Oh, you did?
And I installed this app, I should say, and guess what the first game was that popped up?
Shoot the civilian?
With this scenario, shoot the civilian.
So they didn't even have to try.
They're like, oh, first game, first impression, right there. So you're robbing a bank... And you're an emoji, and you pick up a rifle, and you go into this bank, and it's horrible.
Why does the bank look like an Among Us app?
Yeah, that looks like Among Us.
Yeah, those are the
like
tables.
the cafeteria in Among Us, right?
Here's the thing, because the users are creating the game, and it's on a phone. There are different...
I want to make a game right now while you're talking.
There are different sections you can create, and you get subscribers, and they can take parts of that game's program and slap into another game. So like Legos kind of, as this article said, which I thought was a pretty good representation of it. So you take different chunks that are already programmed and you can put in your own game, and you just kind of can piece it together if you don't want to bother doing any simple programming whatsoever to create...
It's low code. It's the new low code.
A crappy emoji with a gun.
Low code, full BS, buzzwords.
Yeah. Anywho. That's all I got. It's made me laugh.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to go there now. Let's look at App Store.
This is super interesting for you guys. Rich downloading.
Everybody get your phones. Get your phones out.
Wait, you have a TikTok?
No. It's not TikTok. It's TikTok.
It's like TikTok. It's TikTok for games.
Okay, what is it called again?
I don't want that.
I know it's really dumb, but
you guys got to get into this TikTok.
Byte.
Byte.
Low grade Roblox.
Oh, that's a good one.
Byte.
Yeah, wait, if it's low grade Roblox, can we just dash your kids?
Byte. Okay.
Okay.
Byte.
Is that what it's called?
It's called Let's Make Games. Is the tagline.
It's about as horrible as you can imagine.
I mean, sure, but
well, we'll try it out.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Feel free out there to
review.
Agree or disagree.
We're gonna move to Brandon's next topic while Rich is downloading that.
All I want to say is, I think it's definitely a unique idea. You can't argue with the fact that something where you make a game and that game and the idea of it could be viral and other people can take it and change it. That sounds pretty cool, actually. I mean, I may not get TikTok in the sense that I like to have more long form entertainment, but I'm just saying.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm making fun of this, obviously, but
I'm gonna become a Byte Pro, and you're gonna be jealous at how good I am at it.
You go pro,
and then I'm gonna quit Two Guys Tech, and I'm gonna make. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, yeah.
You have something more entertaining to talk about.
I have some interesting stuff actually from AMD.
All right.
So leaks came out. Good old leaks. They always are coming out here. We've got a new processor, the 5995WX, which is a Threadripper Pro with 64 cores and 128 threads.
Can we have a new editing machine?
Wow. I think we're out of budget. Yeah. And also, you're getting a MacBook.
Can I just say, wow.
But that's... Wow. What the latest one I think only does 32 threads and 64 cores.
Sure, but
that's a lot to deal with. And then they've got.
To deal with. Oh my gosh, it's so hard living with this.
Well, yeah. Can Adobe even handle that much? How
it can handle it, just won't use it.
Yeah, so. It just sits there, right?
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
And then there was another 5945 WX, which is 12 cores and 24 threads, not nearly as interesting. And then a new 6900 XTX.
Okay.
You're playing.
This game is terrible. I'm sorry. Okay, this is not good. It is truly like Flash. You're right. I didn't realize how bad it was until I tried it out. Byte is not good. It's. I rescind what I said. I won't be changing careers.
Can you tell they have
Well, what
ADD?
if you had the one good game on there?
I can
but then you realize you'd have to scroll through games to actually get to your good game.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Please, I'm back on this.
Okay, there's the endless list of numbers. What are the specs on that puppy?
The specs on it. Well, they didn't say much because it was from a leak from a account that was unknown, but it was a leaked presentation slide that said it could do 24.93 teraflops on the new 6900 XTX. I think the current one is only at like 20 or 16 teraflops right now.
How this is a Threadripper or is it
this is the GPU.
Epic?
This is the GPU for the 6900 XTX.
Oh wow!
We're going even higher than the original XT.
We've gone plaid. Okay.
Yeah. So
that's Hugh. Thank you. Jeez, you guys are being super generous tonight. You know you don't have to do that. We love you for it and we appreciate it. But just having you here is also just awesome. So, but thank you so much. I appreciate it.
But
wow.
But yeah, so that's the latest from AMD on possible stuff that you won't be able to get your hands on anytime soon.
Well, I mean, so let me ask you this then. Do you guys think that we are now coming up to a point where there's parity between AMD and NVIDIA when it comes to high-end GPU performance? Like, because let's be clear, the 6900 XT doesn't compete with the 3090. It's close, but it doesn't compete, right?
We're still in this, like, the years of whatever you can get your hands on.
But outside of that, but do you think like
if you had your pick?
Yeah, well, not even just a pick thing. It's more like do you think that they're finally producing hardware that when put side by side, the Premiere from one, the Premiere from the other, that they would equal parity, or you might see somebody actually beat down NVIDIA? Because NVIDIA's, from reading that leak there, that sounds like we might be getting to the point where NVIDIA actually has to compete again with people.
Yeah.
Right?
I think the real question is, can AMD do ray tracing and the dynamic super sampling?
They have their own version of it.
And yes, they do. Absolutely.
Has it been compared? That's going to be the key thing, because as much as I, as a gamer, do not care about ray tracing, I think it's really cool. It's a neat way to do light diffusion in scenes, but I don't use it. I'd rather get my 100, 200 frames
on my 60 hertz monitor. I mean,
well, I have 144, so we're okay.
Yeah, at least he's got a game monitor.
I try to go for those higher frame rates and have a more smooth experience than I do care. But the dynamic super sampling is really helpful and something that does make a difference. So it'll be interesting to see. I think they call it Fidelity FX.
Yeah, that compares to DLSS.
If that becomes that's the equivalent to DLSS. If those are equal, then I think you're back into actually having NVIDIA compete again instead of just sitting on their lofty throne, doing whatever they want and selling GPUs to whoever.
I think they're trying to pull an Intel and just sit. Like, they're good.
They're good. We're going.
Johnny, you just Mr. Sarcasm tonight.
Sorry.
But John brings up the Team Blue. We'll see what Team Blue. I'm willing to bet you that their first generation of their GPU won't compete on the same level, but it will compete on price because they're going to have to be.
They're going to compete on availability. That's
but they'll also compete on price because they can't come into a market and be like, we command this money for this card that's going to be likely less performant than.
They're going to go to all the places in China and be like, we will pay you this much to stop making this and make this blue thing. And then it's going to be the only thing available on the market. Well, that's how they're going to take over.
They're making those GPUs in TSMC, the foundry, and they're not making them in their own foundries. They will eventually, but they can't even figure out how to make their own chips, their own foundries right now. So it doesn't matter. But it's so easy to beat up on Intel. I'm sorry, Intel. It's just so easy to beat up.
No, they're just going to go into a little regression cycle. Hopefully, they'll learn to cut their prices a little bit. Because I think right now their processors still cost more than AMD for some reason.
Yeah.
And they're just overall not as good in any way. So hopefully they'll do the AMD strat where they cut their prices for a little bit, sit back, make some good stuff, give it another 3 to 5 years, and come out with a solid product.
Yeah, I mean, like Suburban Barbecue says, he doesn't game, so things like the ray tracing. By the way, just to be a side note, DirectX 12 Platinum has ray tracing as part of it. Yeah. So as long as they support that, and all the AMD cards support DirectX 12 Platinum, so it technically does ray tracing. Now, does it have NVIDIA's secret sauce that they've specifically built into their silicon to maximize it? Maybe, maybe not. But it ideally, as long as they adhere to the standards of DirectX, it should do it.
And that's a good point, MW. If, as John's Steam survey suggests, people are still buying it, why cut your prices then? So, but I mean, hey, availability is king right now. So
supply and demand.
And having any supply is better than nothing.
The thing is, too, NVIDIA historically has a history. I just say historically twice. Yes, I just did.
Historically, they have a history.
Excuse me.
Have you seen the history in this?
They tend to have a good relationship with vendors and software and drivers. So, yeah, one card may be faster, but, just saying. Historically.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see and see what happens in the next year and a half once the COVID whiplash of supply chains kind of irons itself out.
Reading about how this supply issue is going to keep going on well into next year. So.
Yeah.
Well.
And Hugh, I tell people all the time, don't pay more than you should for your GPUs. Yeah, no one listens to me, but
I mean,
we had a deep philosophical discussion about this when we were trying to get a 5950X.
Yeah,
and we
did.
Came very close to actually paying a scalper.
Yeah, we did. There was
embarrassingly so.
I don't want people to know that.
No, it was like a day later. We slept on it. We're like, what were we thinking?
Yeah.
What is wrong with us? Yeah. We're wanting it so bad. We're trying to buy that thing since the announcement.
Yeah. I'm not proud of that, but I will readily admit that we sat there looking at an Amazon. We were just so tired and so exhausted about not being able to build this editing.
Because we had every part for it.
Right, and we needed. Production in videos was being hampered. Mm-hmm. Your sanity was being hampered by your old machine.
Oh, that's always an issue, but it was really back then.
And we're looking at that 5950X on Amazon for $1,200. I'm like, well, we have that money in the bank account. I mean, you could have it right now, and we're just like, well,
no.
Let's just sleep on it. Let's just not do
deep breaths.
Yeah, it's a good thing we always sleep on stuff because it was like
Yeah, I mean, it's just yeah. But we didn't do it. We didn't do it. So you can't. Anyway, I don't know if do I have any other things to? We're talking about keyboards.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about keyboards.
Not a lot of news this week, so
this is a quiet news week.
I am thinking.
So John is thinking about buying one of these high tech. This is just a Logitech keyboard. He thinks it's the best product out there. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I hear it doesn't have USB-C and it has its own little dongle.
It does. It is wireless and the battery lasts.
They make keyboards without wires.
Wireless keyboards. Okay. All right. Be that kind of guy.
All right. So I'm debating building my own mechanical keyboard, and you just did this, even though I've been talking about it for well over.
Wow!
Really?
Thank you very much.
Well,
that's right. Brandon is wearing.
Obviously, they haven't watched the last video.
They missed us talking about it in the morning when we were talking about the TrueNAS stuff we were doing. So,
no,
not in the morning, early in the beginning.
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
But new keyboard.
New keyboard.
Sponsored by TrueNAS.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're kind of sponsored by MW and TrueNAS. And Hugh. So anyone who puts something in here right now, we're sponsored by. Anyway, please continue.
All right, something about building a mechanical keyboard. I've been talking about it for a long time. I actually really like my keyboard, but I want some of my desk space back because I have like a giant 10 key.
What kind of keyboard do you have? You have
Don't worry about it.
Those high end. What do they call them? Rocket keyboards?
Yes,
it's a Rocat.
Rocats. I mean, I believe that they're a really great.
I'll be right back.
All right,
be right back. I need to find something to smack you in the face with.
Oh, that's not. Hey, we're on. Oh yeah, he's gonna go get my keyboard. Okay.
But no, he's gonna go your keyboard too.
Gotta unplug it first.
Yeah.
And it plugged itself.
No, you just take the.
Oh, it's not wireless. You just can't.
Okay, it is wireless because it came undone. All right. So
I've been
Rich
modding
put this for a video.
Yeah.
About a month ago.
Right.
You put
This
Chrome
thing
keys
weighs,
on it.
I kid you not,
They're not chrome. They're
about
stainless
20
steel.
pounds.
Yeah, it's stupid heavy.
What an elitist thing to say.
No, hold this.
No.
He's making fun of my.
I was like,
my modding.
I was like, look at these. They're chrome, and he's like, they're not chrome. They're stainless steel.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Are they really?
They were cheap. They were cheap, and they're really sharp, which I don't know if I like.
Yeah,
them.
I'm like, you're gonna cut yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna get angry playing Call of Duty and cut my hand.
But so you're envious. Is that my understanding?
I am not a jealous person.
I would doubt that.
Okay, you're right.
So anyway, continue. So you're thinking about building
something
like this.
Along those lines, but I like the more retro look. I like this size of a keyboard.
That's
60%.
That's a 75
because it has these.
It's because it's got that, and it's got the F keys.
It's got the dial.
Yeah,
Diamond and Jade are optional.
All right, so here's the thing that I was wondering is because this is Bluetooth.
No,
it's not.
That is just a straight USB-C keyboard.
Right, but they make Bluetooth versions of this.
Yeah, they do make Bluetooth. No, not of Glorious.
But here's my question. I'm like, okay, I want to clear up some desk space, right? Which means I don't need wires. But you build a mechanical keyboard, they don't have batteries in them.
Yes,
so
they do.
They have.
What?
Do they?
Yeah, the ones with Bluetooth have batteries.
They do have batteries.
Yeah, you have to charge them, and they last a long time.
Because I was like, what's the point? You can plug it into a battery
You were
bank?
confused about that. No.
because I was talking to you earlier, and you're like, yeah, it's Bluetooth. No, it doesn't have a battery. That's silly.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of these out there that come from China that they're like 3-mode. They've got Bluetooth, they've got a wired USB-C, and they've got like a dongle like the Logitech do, right?
Right.
And they have batteries in them. They have like 3,000 milliamp hour batteries.
Because you really confused me earlier when we were talking about that. I was like, really?
Well, I mean, it's the more you furiously type, the more energy you actually make. So it's like you've been on one of those like ellipticals or bicycles where you working on the machine actually generates the energy that makes the little display move. So the more furious you type, you have to get spinning, and then all of a sudden the keyboard lights up and it connects.
Oh, he made the joke.
Who did?
It's 3 Guys Tech.
Hugh.
We were waiting.
All right, Hugh.
You win the first joke on that.
I always run the camera.
Yeah, and there's some that don't come from China.
All right.
Everything's manufactured in China.
So
I want something
Same style?
that's kind of retro. I like not having a frame, around it. So I guess I mainly just want some cool keycaps. And I don't really care about anything else. So maybe I should just pry off the keys I have now and glue some keycaps on there.
So my girlfriend is absolutely annoyed by my typing because I pound on my keyboard.
You do.
Already.
You beat on that keyboard like it owes you money.
You have Cherry MX.
You beat on that keyboard like you caught it breaking into your apartment.
I make my money off my keyboard. That is literally how my job works.
Well, so do I. But I mean, that doesn't mean you have to treat it like it burned down your village. I mean,
when we talked to Brandon on Discord,
there's a reason
he holds his keyboard right here.
Yeah.
And he's like,
there's a reason that the NVIDIA broadcast I run is used. It blocks out a lot of that.
It does not block out your typing.
That's fair. But
it does not.
There's Cherry MX Reds, and then there's whatever you use. Because it is
they're only blues.
He has light switches for actual switches, so they go thunk, 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 thunk. Like breakers? Yeah, they're like breakers. He's got the muscles in his fingers are like so.
They're ripped,
Yeah, they're just like.
But
I make my money off my hands.
Do you have a preferred switch? Because I know this is like if you talk to Aaron, our friend.
So
it's if you pick the wrong switch, people will flame you.
I am definitely been talking to Aaron, but like I have the mainstream key switches that just are sold on premium keyboards. So I've had silvers.
See, right there. Novel key creams are bust. Apparently, you're
so
already attacking.
Grumman Watch Arties. I mean, the thing. I want you to say it because I think that it really brings up some good experiences. But everybody has such a strong opinion about certain things in this more than I think I've ever seen. Like one thing I feel like such a charlatan when I started to get into keyboards because I would say, oh, I like this and I like these things, and someone would say, what kind of switches do you like? I'm like, I like the ones that don't have any feeling. What do you use? I think Cherry MX. And they're like, Cherry?
You trash.
He's like, get out, right? And the veins are like popping out of their necks. And I mean, now that I've gotten some different switches, I know what I like. And I agree. You can have a favorite switch that if you give it to a stranger next to a different one, they won't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
You won't be able to tell
I just remember talking to our friend Aaron when we were first... Brandon and I were talking about doing a mechanical keyboard video. And he was talking about different switches. And he's like, there's these ones called Pandas, but there's a lot of controversy. Yeah, you don't want to bring that up because your viewers are just going to go nuts if you bring that up. Like, they're controversial. I'm like, how are keyboard keys controversial? I still haven't Googled Panda keys. I probably don't want to.
Okay,
there are camps, and clearly Grumman Watch is in the novelty creams camp, and if you're in that camp, you better take up arms. And catch these hands.
I think we can test this. Grumman Watch, if you're paying attention, what do you think of Holy Pandas? The Holy Pandas? I think it is.
I don't remember.
I think it's the Holy Pandas. Right now, what are keyboards?
To answer your question, Lizzie, it's that thing you roll your face on when you're playing WoW. That's essentially it. But I've only had like mainstream keyboards that I eventually spilled beer on, and I get Rich's last keyboard.
That's fair.
I've had 2 years now, and somehow
I
accidentally spilled a whole mug of beer on them. But oh, we got a Destiny player here with us.
No, just asking for help on keyboards. I think Grumman Watch might be able to help you more than I.
See, he says they're good. So
they're good. Holy Pandas are good. Okay.
The last ones I got the Everglide Clears. That was my last one that I purchased, and I put on that board, and I think they're great. And I had people tell me, they're not that good. I'm like, these things are like butter. They're smooth and they're lubed.
Well, that's the thing. It's personalizable.
Personalizable?
Yes.
Have you guys ever personalized a keyboard?
Words, they're hard.
Sometimes.
Oh, man. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Okay. So let's just say if I'm actually looking at purchasing a keyboard, right? So there's the actual template, the board. Right.
You mean the layout of the keys and the percentage of the keyboard. And then you need to find
a frame to go around that board, which only works with certain boards, right?
Yeah. It's actually not as bad as what I've learned, and keep me honest in the chat, guys.
Where's graffiti?
Basically, what I've come to learn from this is that once you decide on what sort of percentage layout you want, whether it's a 60, 65, 75 like I've got, or you're full size, whatever you want. Once you decide. Then you can start looking at finding, what basically whatever PCB you want and a plate that'll go with it. And then typically, like I was on AliExpress, Brandon was giving me a bunch of crap for it. But those keyboards, if someone says that this case fits a 60%, there's a standard. I want to use that term loosely, but there's a standard for mounting positions for those PCBs. So you can go buy whatever case floats your boat.
So it's like a computer case.
It is essentially like building a computer. I mean, there's way more gotchas in it. Don't get me wrong. It's like a blind person could like just randomly walk through and pick different computer parts off the shelf and build a computer typically, as long as it's there's idiosyncrasies in that, but not as much as this. However, you can go and buy whatever parts typically as long as they're made to work together and put it together. You don't have to worry about what switch.
It's gonna sound crazy, but I want to like solder on the switches.
You're joking?
No, I'm not. I want to go like...
You are crazy. You are...
I mean, remember when we tried to do the Raspberry Pi thing, and John was like, yes, give me the solder, and like,
just
ready for the solder. I want to feel the solder in my bones.
I have to go on like the black market to buy lead solder still.
Yeah.
It's just like an inhaled sweet smell. But...
Did you know that lead is sweet when you eat it? No, listen.
It's a snack and it does the work.
I mean, I don't know why you want to solder things. That's next level.
Yeah, you realize that...
It's just like, if you're spending the amount of time already doing that, you might as well solder them on.
Yeah.
Seriously, just take it that one extra
They're so much easier, because then you can just pop them in, you can pop them
out.
What
if you don't like the switches that you bought?
You unsolder them, and you do it once.
Holy cow.
Hey, remember? Well, I did that with the mouse.
That's true.
You
love that mouse so much you wouldn't try to put a new switch in there.
I didn't try. I'm still using that mouse.
You successfully soldered your switches on the mouse. That's
how many years have I had that mouse now?
I don't know. Is it a Rocate?
Anywho, thanks for watching, folks. Appreciate you.
Grumman Watch says the big problem with keycaps is with the right layout. There's too many differences in keycaps lengths. He's right.
Yeah,
like this thing right here, I bought some different keycaps for this. I don't know if you can kind of see, but these are clear and they were opaque in the video, so I bought different ones. But I couldn't do all of them because the caps that came, I didn't have the right size shift keys.
Yeah, I remember that.
And spacebar, and I was like, well, that sucks. And that's fine. You learn a lesson, but and there's nuance in arc or angles and stuff on the different types of profiles for keycaps too. But I think that you fell in love with soldering when we did that case video. Look at his face, like, God damn it.
Maybe.
We did that case video where you soldered all of those LED lights together.
Yeah.
And I think that was it.
It's such a useless talent for me that I feel like I'm good
You
at
could
it.
work in China and one of those, like, you could be a human place and pick machine and just put all this. Yeah, you could
It wouldn't
do
be
that.
fun anymore then.
Nope.
It wouldn't be fun anymore.
Are you saying that whenever you do something for a living, then it loses the joy?
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's true definition of a hobby right there, folks. Right
No,
there.
seriously. Like, you get good at something and you don't ever get to use that skill. Like, plus, I built my own keyboard. Oh, great. You just push some keys in there. Like,
The gauntlet has been thrown.
Oh my god.
Did you
Guys,
really
stop.
Did you just
Stop.
insult me? Because
I just had an epiphany.
Hold up. Are you gatekeeping keyboards?
You just stole from me. I was gonna say I am actually a one-upper. I just realized.
I was like, I feel like you're gatekeeping keyboards.
Brandon?
Where's Aaron out here? He'll be like,
Oh my
it's
god.
not real.
Oh my gosh.
But I think that's a good point to wrap it up. John's gatekeeping keyboard.
I'm gonna go
Rich,
kill myself now.
your switches are bad, obviously.
My
John will
switch-
pick better ones.
Yes,
if he
I
has
will.
to learn from you.
They'll have a
And
better
I think,
connection with soldering
with
instead
the
of whatever
they'll
that
have
is.
Look,
better.
Suburban Barbecue says, get into building some crossovers, get into audio. That'll be your next big expensive thing after you get done
I
hand
have
soldering.
enough. Every hobby I have is stupid
Yeah.
expensive and time consuming.
Yes.
It's okay. Yeah, we'll go back to punch down in cables,
Yes,
right?
Brandon, get him.
Yeah.
Attack!
And we'll go back to punch down in cables and crimping our own, right? Because that's what you want to do.
I mean, actually, I do
I haven't
enjoy
done
that,
this such a
but
long
I
time.
don't want to do that anymore. It's like,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, you're probably right. We should probably
It's
call
a
it. We've
good
been
time
here
to
for
wrap
an
it up.
hour. You guys, every single one of you have been great. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be, we'll see you next Friday, right? We're going to do next Friday.
Yeah.
And we would love to have you back then. Yeah, guys. Talk to you soon.
Catch y'all.